Hey guys, this is a market update. Bitcoin isn't doing anything right now. We're trading sideways. The attention isn't in crypto right now. You're looking at silver trading like a meme coin, like Bitcoin used to trade, and gold moving entire Bitcoin market caps every other day. So the attention is there. That's great. And people can trade that. But for me, the real trade, the investment is to buy Bitcoin because it's going to outperform those. Commodities typically, if you look at return profiles over many years, do not return. They're actually one of the only asset classes that has slightly gone down, even in dollar terms, over the long term. In general. Now, gold, maybe silver, a little bit different to other base metals or other commodities, but these are not great long-term investments in my opinion. This is it. This is the scarcity. This is what I want to be in. And when things are very weak or the narrative is elsewhere, that's typically where your dollar cost average is going to be doing pretty well over the next few years, right? Look at this supply and profit. We're looking at bear market levels type of collapse here. There's a huge rotation at this kind of 95 to 100K. That's a really key level. I don't think we're going to break through it too easily, right? Because now you have a lot of people in at these levels that are obviously going to rotate out once they break even on certain trades or certain purchases they made. That's just what happens. Look, 69,000 top here as we came into it for the second time. Huge consolidation, right? Lots of people just wanting to sell out at the previous all-time high. Maybe they held through the bear market. So that's what happens. And this 100K level is just so key. I don't think it's going to be broken through very easily. We're going to have to really, really churn through it. But look at long-term holder supply and a huge distribution in red from long-term holders. And that seems to potentially be drying up here. Now, that may be because there's not really a lot of liquidity either for them to sell into. If liquidity improves again, maybe they start selling. But it's interesting here. The thing is with this is that they actually were buying a lot of supply here and the price went sideways. So it's not a one-for-one with, well, if they start buying again, the price goes up. You just have to figure out how many people actually just want to rotate out of Bitcoin here. Because the Bitcoin ETFs were essentially the IPO of Bitcoin, where you had people that were in the kind of VC type investors who want to buy something when it's very low and very risky and then get out on a liquidity event, which is usually the IPO for an equity. For Bitcoin, it was the ETFs where you actually had much higher liquidity, TradFi type liquidity. And for a lot of VC type funds or that type of money, and a lot of that money would be through investment funds, their remit is really to rotate, right? It's to get into something very early, take a lot of risk, have a lot of zeros, but a few do well. And then when you get the liquidity event, you get out, right? And you go in more to more new risky stuff. And that's how those funds work. So it's almost like it's the rules for them to sell, right? Because they don't want a maturing asset. That's not what they're in. They're actually into early stage VC bets, and Bitcoin was kind of a version of that. So you have to wait for them to rotate out, and the capital that's coming in is much slower. But we know where everything's going for Bitcoin, right? And so look at this. This is USDC and USDT exchange inflows. This typically does correlate with price. So when you get big inflows of dollars into exchanges, they're obviously, for the most part, using those dollars potentially to trade for crypto. And so if you're putting dollars in, typically you want to buy. So you had a big spike here and here, price goes up. And as you can see, it's just been a bit weak. So towards the end of this year, just very weak. We have to wait until next year. We have to probably churn through a lot more before we start seeing some more, hopefully, positive trends for Bitcoin upwards. But to be honest, weak prices for Bitcoin is good for me as well if you're actually looking to invest in this thing. If you trade Bitcoin and crypto, check out Bybit via the link below. If you're a new user on there, you can deposit anything. They'll give you a deposit bonus up to 30,000. I'll also be updating the crypto course in January with my latest updates and just to look for 2026. I'll link that below as well. You get updates for free forever once you're in the course. The Trump admin have been extremely clear about what they want to happen, and all of their policies are focused on this, which is higher GDP, right? They want GDP to run hot. There's reasons for that. You need to debase the debt versus GDP, so you need to run GDP hot. And all of their policies are focused on this, and I don't think that's negative for BTC. And if you're looking at base metals mooning right now, there's a lot to do with China and the US and rebalancing of trade flows and kind of physical amounts of these metals. But it also typically is a forecast of what the market thinks is going to happen to GDP and economic growth. Now in the US, the Trump admin is saying, we're going to run it hot. So believe them. I don't think that's bad for BTC. Now, on the other side of that, you have CPI, the inflation rate. CPI is a fake basket. However, it's running around about the level it's been for 2 decades at this point. So I think next year, the narrative is going to change. You have a new Fed chair coming in. The narrative is going to change from, we think inflation is a problem, we're just really trying to manage this, to let GDP run hot and increase supply side. The narrative is going to change. And they're going to run GDP hot. And the way that they run GDP hot is simply by encouraging credit creation. GDP is measured in dollars. So the ESLR is coming in at the start of next year as well, which increases or can increase the leverage of banks. So encouraging them to create more dollars. It's all about dollar creation, GDP, right? So they want more dollar creation. That's going to happen. All of their policies are focused on that. I don't think that's bearish for Bitcoin at all. If you're looking at manufacturing PMIs as well, they're still very low. So I wouldn't worry about a rate hiking cycle at this point. They want to pump this higher. This is the whole point, right? Grow GDP, grow output, debase the debt in GDP terms, right? Debt to GDP ratio needs to come down. You grow GDP. You can print money to do that. But of course, you need a big boom, a supply boom as well, to make sure that inflation doesn't get too crazy. But everything is set up here for just very strong asset prices, right? So I really wouldn't worry about this. If you're looking at the credit cycle as well, we haven't topped out. PMIs, they haven't topped out, nowhere near. The credit cycle was just getting started, and they want interest rates to come down, and they're going to try and force that as much as they can. If you're looking at cyclical GDP components as well, you've got durable goods, residential, obviously high interest rates, or higher than before, has obviously created a bit of a bust in these. But equipment investment is going a lot higher thanks to Trump policies, right? You're looking at reinvestment, bringing manufacturing back, and a lot of factories. So you can see that happening. Now, if they reduce interest rates, that's going to create obviously a boom in various other sectors, including the residential market as well, which is a big sector. There's an issue right now in housing, is that there are lots of people leaving the US, right? And so you can see rents coming down and house prices coming down. It's a double-edged sword. Young people want lower house prices because they don't own them, and everyone that does own them has the majority of their wealth tied up in them, and so they don't want the house prices to come down. It's kind of an impossible situation, right? But it is what it is. If you lower interest rates, then house prices could remain somewhat robust. So look, this is what they want to do. They want to grow GDP, and they want to run it hot. It's time to grow 4.3% year-over-year GDP, which is in Q3. Musk saying, look, double-digit growth coming within 12 to 18 months. I don't agree with that. I don't think that's going to happen. Maybe for companies or a sector, but for the economy in general, actually, when you increase supply, which AI does, AI increases supply, you actually disinflate the price level. And that's not what the US needs. The US needs to increase the price level. GDP going higher is something that really is manipulated via money printing. So you've got one side, a deflationary impulse from AI, then the capex, which is a boom, and money printing, leveraging up the economy, which is another boom. I think they're just going to do it. I think they're going to run GDP hot. I think inflation is going to be around about normal levels, and the Fed just switching a little bit to, we're not worried about inflation anymore, so just get on with it. I think that's pretty good for Bitcoin, to be honest, over the next few years. In the short term, stock to flow and the inflation rate of these assets is entirely irrelevant, right? It doesn't matter if silver has a 4.5% annual supply growth, right? 4.5% more is dug out of the ground every year. It's absolutely irrelevant in the short term. Over the long term, this does matter though, right? Silver was used as money. Gold has been a much better store of value because over the long term, these supply rates actually matter. Scarcity actually matters. Silver was used as money, right? British pounds, pound sterling was a weight of silver. That's what we used to use as money. Pound sterling now buys you far less silver because simply the annual supply growth is different. Gold as well at 1.5%. Bitcoin going essentially to zero over time. It's actually less than gold supply growth even now. Doesn't matter in the short term. But investing in something over the long term, these actually matter. Look at silver. This is an insane move, right? Absolutely insane. But with the amount of supply coming onto the market, for example, with gold is now a 30 trillion market cap. If you're looking at a supply growth of 1.5%, you're looking at around $450 billion a year of dollars that would have to flow into gold to meet the new supply coming online as that will be sold. I've been through these cycles before. I was working in London. London is a center for raising capital for mining. So when prices are firm, everyone floods into the market, raising cash to go and dig gold and copper and everything else out the ground because prices are firm. And by the time that investment cycle happens, prices come soft again and supply comes down a bit. But when the price goes up, new supply is found and can be found. 450 billion a year just to keep this Now, in the short term, completely irrelevant. If the US is using gold to weaken dollars to rebalance trade flows, gold can go way higher, right? If they want it to. But over the long term, the fact that Bitcoin is actually scarce and gold has this 1.5%, which in dollar terms means ever increasing amounts have to flow in, it will make a difference, right? Bitcoin is consolidating here. These things are going absolutely crazy, but why buy trades that are very high in price? Like, we're buying Bitcoin when it's very high in price, not a good idea, right? So if you go to the previous bull market here, right, you buy right here, you've underperformed. Because buying when prices are high, typically not great. Now, if you buy when prices are low, like in the previous 2 bear markets ago, or in the previous bear market, you've outperformed everything. So what do you want to buy? Do you want to buy things that are high flying right now, or do you want to buy something that is technically superior and is in a consolidation phase? That's why dollar cost averaging the best assets is going to outperform over time, in my opinion. I'm going to be updating the crypto course with the 2026 outlook. I'll update that for free for existing members. You can click the link to the course below if you're interested. 300 videos here, and Bybit deposit bonus down below in the description as well. Happy New Year, and I'm James, it's Money ZG. Cheers for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.